Twilight and Morrigan flew alongside Ida, who carried Lisa and Zelda along on her magic staff. Daphne followed behind, using her wand to levitate herself with her own magic.
So you're a magic user too? Oh,
Ida asked.
I thought you looked familiar. Did we know each other before the war?
We didn't, but I'd like to think we did.
Daphne said.
Honestly, my memory is still patchy. I was under the Nightmare Tyrant spell for, I don't even know how long.
The Nightmare Tyrant. You're under his spell.
Ida asked.
What happened to the Winkies?
The Winkies were the allies of the Nightmare Tyrant.
Daphne said.
They were supposed to defend against his attacks. Instead, they sided with him and were used as his pawns in his plan to conquer the world. The Emerald City fell because of them, and much of the world would soon follow.
That's terrible.
Ida said.
What did the Nightmare Tyrant do to you?
The Nightmare Tyrant said he would make me his queen,
Daphne said.
but it was all just a ploy to get at my friend. We made the first Nightmare Man.
Daphne stopped here, realizing she had no idea what she meant. The rest of the party caught up, and Morrigan asked.
What's a Nightmare Man?
The Nightmare Tyrant's slave.
Daphne said.
We're all slaves.
Morrigan said.
Slaves to what?
Ida asked. Daphne paused, realizing she had to change the subject.
Nothing.
You're the slave of nothing.
Morrigan asked.
I'm just a slave like everyone else.
Daphne said.
So you don't have a master?
Ida asked.
Are you my master?
Morrigan asked.
I don't think so.
Said Ida.
Well, perhaps you could be.
Morrigan said.
What do you think, Twilight?
No.
Said Twilight.
What do you mean? No!
Asked Morrigan.
I'm not going to be her master.
Said Ida.
You're not her master either.
Morrigan said.
You're all slaves together.
Said Daphne.
Slaves to the Nightmare Tyrant!
Said Morrigan.
He's our master.
He might be your master, but he's not mine.
Ida said.
Doesn't matter.
Said Morrigan.
We're all slaves.
That's what we're fighting for.
Said Lisa.
If we kill the Nightmare Tyrant and free all of our friends, who have the power to be our own masters will determine our own futures.
That's the plan.
Ida agreed. She pointed ahead.
Those two I told you about are up ahead.
Twilight squinted and was taken aback.
Pinkie, Angel.
Friends of yours.
Morrigan asked.
Yes, dear friends.
Said Twilight.
I didn't know she had any.
Said Morrigan.
You might notice some changes.
Said Ida.
The little one, well, I'll let her explain it.
The group all landed next to the makeshift camp, where Pinkie Pie and Angel Dust were waiting. Twilight ran up to hug Pinkie, but as she did, she felt a strange magic coming from her. It grew so strong that it knocked her back.
What is? What happened after we split up?
Said Pinkie.
I think I'm maybe a freaking god now. No, you're not.
Said Twilight.
You're my sister, and you always will be. Well, I'm not sure, Beck.
Said Pinkie.
I think you might be right. But are you a god? I'm not. I'm not a god. I'm just an average magic user who found a book of magic.
Great, none of us are gods.
Ida said dryly.
But Pinkie here did inherit the legacy of the Black Fang, and with it that of the Sun and Moon gods.
I didn't even know I had any legacy.
Said Pinkie.
That's because you're a half-blood. You have a heritage, whether you choose to use it or not.
I'm a monster because I'm half dragon.
No, you're a monster because you're a monster.
Said Ida, rolling her eyes.
But your other half is a divine creature. You shared a womb with one of the most powerful beings in existence. How did you come into being? That power is no accident. You are a divine creature, hybrid of the old gods and their knowledge and their power.
You're saying I'm a minion of the sun and moon gods.
No, the Sun and Moon goddesses would not resort to such underhanded tactics. They are good and lofty beings, but the old gods, they're the ones who created you. They are the ones who made you a thing. Not the moon nor the sun, but the old god. That's what you inherited, my half-dragon. Your legacy is tied to the old god.
But I'm not a god. I'm a monster.
Said Pinkie.
What matters is that you know the king of the Black Fang.
Ida said.
And Lisa, your brother Bartimus is the king of the Silver River. Zelda, your father is the king of the Under. If we can recruit the king of shadows, we'll have reunited all for kings.
And that will let us stop the Nightmare Tyrant?
Twilight asked.
Yes.
Said Ida.
When the four kings reunite, we will have all the powers at our disposal.
Except for the ring, right?
Asked Morrigan.
You mean this?
Lisa asked, holding up the Ring of Solomon.
We trapped the soul of the Nightmare King in here.
Is it magical?
Asked Morrigan.
No, but it's a hell of a lot more powerful than the last time we used it.
Said Lisa, shrugging.
I still say we should use it.
Said Morrigan.
It's too dangerous.
Ida agreed.
We can't risk releasing the Nightmare King back onto the world.
I say we kill him with it and be done with it.
Said Lisa, grinning.
No, we don't touch it until we're ready. We need to get the other three kings to our side first.
Said Ida.
But we can end the Nightmare Tyrant's reign of terror now.
Said Lisa.
You might be able to slow him down, but you can't end him for good like that.
Angel Dust said.
You know, it can't be that easy.
Why not?
Said Lisa.
All we need is the ring and the power to be able to cast a spell to wipe out the Nightmare Tyrant.
It might could work.
Said Ida.
But I'm not willing to take that risk. I'll go with you, Lisa, and Bartimus. If you're going to do this, it's going to be with us.
Lisa smiled slyly and said,
It might be, but I'm thinking it will be more fun with 5.
Fine.
said Ida.
We're doing it here.
Are we really doing this here?
Asked Morrigan.
We don't have a lot of time before the Nightmare Tyrant finds us.
We all do it there.
Ida pointed to a dense group of trees.
We all do it there.
They landed in the trees and found a secluded spot inside. The group sat in a circle and Ida spoke.
First, we do a quick chant to send the message of the spell out to the Nightmare Tyrant. I don't think he'll be able to detect this group, but we need to be safe. Afterward, we'll take out the ring and cast the spell.
How do we get Bartimus to agree to this?
Asked Lisa.
Do you have any way to contact him?
Twilight asked.
No, Bartimus has been locked up in his tower for months and only emerges to hunt. He's not even taking visitors, let alone to visit other kings.
Said Lisa.
I think I can come up with a way to get him out of there.
Said Twilight.
He won't give us a very good chance against the Nightmare Tyrant, but it's better than nothing.
I don't like it.
Said Morrigan.
If it's the only way, then so be it.
Said Ida.
Okay, get on with it.
Said Lisa. Twilight closed her eyes and concentrated. She started to chant, softly at first, but steadily growing louder until she was chanting at a loud enough volume to be heard across the landscape.
Bartimaeus of Springfield, rule from your tower. Defend your realm. Hear my voice, Bartimaeus.
What the hell is this?
Morrigan whispered.
I don't know, but it's working.
Said Lisa. The chanting seemed to draw Bart out of his tower. After a short while, a figure appeared before them, emerging from the mist. Bart looked dazed, but he was walking all the same.
Whoa, are you?
He asked, his vision readjusting to the light.
We're Alice.
Said Ida.
We're the friends that you invited to the party, remember?
Ida, what the fuck is this?
Bart demanded.
Bart, we need your help.
Lisa said. Bart's eyes lit up when he saw his sister.
Lisa,
We need to use the ring.
Ida said.
what the hell is this?
Bart demanded yet again.
Who's the ring?
Lisa said, holding out her hand with the ring in her palm.
Fuck you.
Said Bart, stepping back.
How the fuck am I supposed to know if this is a trick or not?
It's not a trick.
Ida said.
Bart, don't you trust me?
Asked Lisa.
Lisa, I told you, I don't trust anybody.
Bart said, stepping back further.
It's a really simple yes or no question.
Said Lisa, raising her voice.
Just take the ring and we'll go back to the tower. Okay.
Said Bart. He took the ring from Lisa and channeled his power through it. He then handed it back to Lisa, who took it and put it on. Bart watched as the ring made Lisa's fingers grow long, the nails turning black. He started to feel uncomfortable.
What the fuck?
He said.
What's going on?
Asked Morrigan.
She's turned into a vampire.
Said Bart.
A fucking vampire.
Yelled Lisa.
I will not turn into that abomination.
Holy shit, just calm down.
Said Ida.
You're not turning into a vampire, but the soul of the Nightmare King is leaking from that ring.
So,
Whispered Bart.
what are you talking about? What's the matter with you? Shut up, Bart.
Said Lisa.
No, I want to know.
Said Bart.
Okay, listen.
Said Ida.
The Nightmare Tyrant has been trapped in the Nightmare Realm for so long, he's been losing his soul. When you used this ring to defeat him, that light and soul energy was sucked in with him. Normally that would be that, but wearing the ring will allow some of that soul to affect the bearer physically.
Lisa examined her clawed hand.
Ooh,
She said.
Lisa, what are you going to do?
Asked Morrigan.
whatever I have to.
Said Lisa.
Lisa,
Said Ida.
I'm sorry. I have to do this.
Said Lisa. She raised her arms up into the air and chanted a short series of spells until she had a sword protruding from each hand. Bart looked at the swords and back at Lisa.
What's that supposed to do?
He asked.
don't worry, Bartimus.
Said Ida.
We'll take good care of her.
Don't try anything stupid.
Lisa's gaze shifted to you.
I'll kill you both if you do. Don't try anything.
Said Bart.
And be careful.
Lisa looked at him.
Don't you have something you want to say?
She asked. Bart looked to Morrigan.
Can I talk to you in the bathroom?
He asked.
I guess.
Said Morrigan. She looked at Ida.
Can I go with him?
Yes, but stay close.
Bart shuffled off to the camp's bathroom and Morrigan followed.
What is it?
She asked.
Lisa turned into a vampire.
Whispered Bart.
Oh, that's perfect.
Said Morrigan, smiling.
We can use it against her.
What do you mean?
Look it, Miss Succubus. Even if she's a vampire, it's no big deal to me.
She laughed.
Besides, you're the king of the Silver River. I bet you can handle one bloodsucker.
You're serious?
Haven't I always been serious?
Maybe you have, but I still don't know what you just said.
Look, Artemis!
Said Morrigan, leaning in closer.
Do you remember the blood-headed one?
Of course.
Said Bart.
She ruled the first Brood War.
She's still around.
Whispered Morrigan.
She can be our Holy.
What did you say?
The blood-headed one is the name of the first Brood Warlord's concubine.
Said Morrigan.
She's still around.
She's a ghost.
Said Bart.
No, she's not.
Said Morrigan.
Her head is still in the living realm. If she ruled a place, she would still be alive.
How do you know that?
Because I know everything.
Said Morrigan, smiling.
Everything.
Everything!
For a while there was no reply. Bart and Morrigan stared at each other in silence, and then Bart said,
Fine.
Bart took off his cloak and handed it to Morrigan.
Put this on.
What's this for?
Asked Morrigan.
It's armor. Do as I say.
Morrigan put the cloak on and it fit her as expected.
Why are you giving this to me?
She asked.
Because I need someone to protect Lisa.
Said Bart.
She's a vampire.
Well, she's really into pain.
Said Morrigan, rolling her eyes. Bart walked over to his pack and pulled out a wooden stake.
Lisa,
He said, holding it out to her.
You're not serious.
Said Lisa.
I told you I'm not a vampire.
What's the matter?
Asked Ida.
Don't you trust your own kin?
It's not that.
Said Lisa.
I just don't like the idea of being, dead.
Oh, that's interesting.
Said Ida.
Did you know that the Nightmare Tyrant is more powerful than any of the so-called vampires that walk this earth?
Lisa's eyes widened.
Are you sure about that?
Of course not.
Said Ida.
But it's a good bet. Now let's talk of other things.
Bart sighed and tossed away his stake as the group gathered to make further plans. None of them knew what to do next, but Ida had a few ideas.
Okay, we've got a few options here.
She said.
We know that the Nightmare Tyrant's fortress or city of Kishik once stood in the far east of the Kingdom of Mani. Lisa's agreed to this, correct?
Yes, he does. I'm still here.
Said Lisa.
Good, good. Now, according to your records, there is a large island in the middle of the river Kishik, just north of where the fortress once stood. This island is a number of nights' walk from there by boat. If we can get there, we might be able to arrange an escape.
I think I'll be able to arrange that for you.
Daphne said.
I know of these shortcuts.
Good.
Said Ida. She was happy with this plan, but she knew it would fall apart at the first sign of resistance from the Nightmare Tyrant. She looked to Bart.
Bartimus, have you mastered the flow of the Silver River?
I think so. Whack.
We need better than think, my dear boy. Maybe the previous king can assist you.
What do you mean?
Asked Lisa.
Listen!
Ida said as the group huddled around her. They planned through the night, putting their heads together to try and outsmart the Nightmare Tyrant.
The Silver River flows through the Kingdom of Mani. The waterway divides the kingdom in two. If we can make it to the island, we'll be safe.
And if we don't?
Angel asked.
Then we stay here and fight.
Said Twilight.
For as long as it takes.
Ida looked her in the eyes, her face grim. She nodded.
For as long as it takes.
And that's where we'll leave off for now. I feel like we're at kind of an odd place with this group where it might be kind of hard to like push them forward into like doing things. The AI seems to want to just kind of have them talk and plan and stuff. So what we're going to do next chapter is jump over to a different group of characters and follow them for a little bit. So next time we'll be joining Rainbow Dash and Rarity as they enter the Emerald City, and we'll see what awaits them there. For now though, thank you for watching, and if you happen to miss the previous chapter, here's a clip.
So, what do you think, Mike? Should we go with Sandy's plan?
No,
Mike said.
I have a better idea.
What?
Daphne asked.
We use this.
With that, Mike brought his fist down on top of a nearby rock. A small gash formed and blood seeped out.
I'll turn into a bat.
Mike said.
And you can hit him with that.
Daphne smiled.
Sounds fun.